you're not average. And this statement probably contradicts a lot of your own limiting beliefs and self-beliefs, and a lot of the ideas and beliefs that were given to you and you were programmed to think by society. So to think that you are special, to think that you're not like anybody else, it's something that you didn't always think of and you didn't always believe. As children, we grow up and we come out of the womb and we are given so much attention. We feel so special. Our whole attention is on us. Our whole energy and focus is on ourselves and then to our connections with our parents. So we feel like we are the center of the world. We think that we are special. And so slowly we go from a state where we receive so much attention from everyone. More attention when you had a birthday, more attention about Christmas. Everything seemed like a big deal, right? When you were a child, everything seemed like it had to be special for you and your wants and needs mattered, meaning that you had the permission to dream because you were a child. There was no responsibility, there was no pressure and force on you because there was no expectation. Everyone just left you be on your own because you were a child and this was what was expected on you. But as you grow up and you become an adult, more expectations come on you. And this idea of people treating you like you're special and unique, believing in you like when you were a child, slowly fades. And you come face to face with the harsh reality of how adults are treated. When you face this big contrast from having the attention and the thinking, the idea of, and the belief and the understanding that you are the center of the world, you go to the then realization that, well, I am just another person. I'm just another average person that has the same desires as other people around me. You start to shrink yourself, your wants, your needs, your goals, your dreams, because you think, oh, what makes me so special? Like, this person here wanted to become a football player, and when he was a child and he really thought he could do it, he had these big dreams, he had all this potential, he had these talents, and it didn't really happen for him. So maybe we're not so special as we think we are. We accumulate examples and stories of people around us and personal experiences of our own to prove to ourselves and show to our mind that, look, things don't actually happen when you're adult. Like, we are average, we're not that special, our dreams are not so, well, our dreams were childish. Our dreams they just came out of childhood imagination, and they have no substance in the real world. We basically get brainwashed as we move from childhood to then becoming teenagers and then to adulthood. In adulthood, we face this harsh realization that so many people face. They try their first 9 to 5, their first jobs, and they see how they're surrounded by people doing average jobs and people that are smart, people that are intelligent, people that are capable, people that are talented, and they think, oh well, if these people are not fighting, that surely have dreams, are not fighting for them, well, that means that this is how it's supposed to be. This is what happens. Like, you have to conform to that. And we slowly integrate these ideas and beliefs and make them our own. So we start seeing ourselves as average, wanting to go down an average path, the path of going to university, getting a nice, comfortable job, having a nice relationship, coming back from work, going into the cycle of watching TV, coming from work, eating and watching TV, and doing it all over again. When you go into this stagnant cycle, you embrace this comfortable knowing routine and you become complacent. You know that something doesn't feel right. You know that your dreams are there and they're telling you, they're like speaking to you through your heart, like, I feel like I want more than this. But why do I want more? There's so many people out there that I'm working with. All of my family, all of my friends are doing this and this. What makes me so special to want something more? Nobody around you wants something more, and you feel like this is normal, this is what I should embrace as well. But something inside of you tells you, no, I want more, I need more. And you find that voice inside of your head as delusional. Maybe I'm just greedy, maybe I'm just like, why can't I just be happy with this average life where so many people are okay with it and they don't fight it, they don't go against it. But what you don't understand is that your dreams and your desire for more means that you are able to have more. You wouldn't have this desire and this bigger dream for more if this wasn't a possibility for you. And as humans, we are not greedy for wanting more than what other people are fighting for and they find as like the dream life. We are meant to expand and to grow. And once we try something and we see that it doesn't speak to us, our first reaction shouldn't be that we need to I'm the weird one, I'm the odd one out, why can't I just conform? I think having an inner voice inside of you telling you to not settle and making you feel so unpleased and unsatisfied with the average life is a blessing in disguise. You might consider it like, why can't I just be satisfied with what I have, with what I worked for to get? Like, I went all the way to university. I did my bachelor's, I did my master's. I traveled abroad to get in that position, to get an opportunity to work abroad, and I'm still not satisfied. I actually feel more like a fraud than ever. And that is because you are trying to barter with yourself, and you're trying to say to your inner voice, listen, I'm going to do all of these grand things, I'm sure you're going to be pleased, I'm sure you're going to be happy with them, because everybody else was fighting for these things, and once they got them, they were satisfied. So surely this will be enough to satisfy you, right? This is what you say to yourself. But you don't realize that we can never fool ourselves. We can never fool our inner voice, our intuition, our inner self, to tell them and to convince them that what they truly guide us towards and want is not what we really want, is not what is meant for us. And I did this for so many years. I tried to try the other way. I forced myself to try the other way because I thought that listening to that inner voice inside of me, it was going to lead me down a path that will make me look like a fool. And I have not embraced it at all. I've been forcing myself ever since I came out of high school to make decisions that made logical sense, to follow down not an average life, but something that was pretty grand as expectations. I wanted to become a lawyer, I wanted to work abroad, and that seemed like was beyond average, right? But once I tried it and I did it, going down that path made me feel like doing that was pretty average. Like going after a goal just for the money, for the title and the fake identity you will rather have and to give to yourself, so you can, when you introduce yourself to people, they can be like, oh, what are you doing? And you can be like, oh, I'm a lawyer. This ego-driven motive and desire was not enough for me. I've reached the point where I did that and I saw that it meant nothing to me. And I wish I didn't have to go through the whole process of trying something that I knew and I felt that it wasn't right for me, to realize that it wasn't for me. And so many people are chasing the validation. They're chasing, when it comes to career, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to the people they have around them, they chase the validation and the external approval because they don't trust their inner guidance. They have zero faith and zero trust and safety towards what their inner being is telling them. I completely could not listen to anything that my inner self was saying, even though it felt kind of weird and having resistance toward it. Like, I didn't have any genuine interest towards going to law. I ignored that voice because the external validation at that point in my life was more important. And I realize now that this was part of my journey, learning to listen only to myself, learning to listen only to my inner guidance and what my self is telling me. Because the more I ignored it, the more it stopped talking to me, but the more dissatisfied I became. I had to go through this journey to embrace the fact that one of the goals and one of the motives and one of the reasons why I went after external validation and the desire to fit in most than ever was because I always felt like I didn't fit in. And it was one of my biggest desires to do so, to fit in, to be like an average person. And I fought this for so long, to be a normal part of the crowd, to not be the black sheep, to not be the odd one out. But I always felt like I was different. And back then I was understanding different as bad, as less than, as not as good enough. I didn't understand that being different was what made me special, was what gave me different powers and skills and abilities that I tried to hide away for so long, but were basically my gifts, were basically what I'm here in the world to help people with. And the more you try to shrink your true gifts, shrink how different you are, you shrink your own light, just because you need to fit in more than to stand out. And I never liked standing out. I never liked attention on me. I never liked be the performer, the leader. That was because I already felt like I was different enough, and putting that attention on me will make people see that I was more different than I already was. Part of the lesson of this journey was for me to realize that I am not average, and I am special, I am different, and I feel that more loudly than most people because I was able to make choices that came and followed my inner guidance. And the more you do that, the more different and more special you become, because you are solely driven by your inner light, by your thing that differentiates you as a person. And so the more you are able then to become your own person, your own personality, your own character, because you fully embrace who you are. Now, saying that I'm special doesn't mean that, oh, I'm like the avatar in society. Like, what I'm trying to say is that every single one of us is having the ability to become special, and we are special, but our need for validation and our need to fit in makes us and drives us to become average, to fit in and to become like everybody else. And this is what I'm trying to say to you, that you are not average, that every single one of us, we were brought on this earth different, special, with our own personality, with our own character, and we were fully embracing it at the beginning of our journey. While we were children, we were fully embracing who we are, and we were not comparing ourselves to feel like we were less than because we were different from somebody else. But slowly, as you grow up, you want to fit in more. You want to feel accepted. You want to feel emotionally accepted by the community around you, by your friends. And it starts to become this craving for validation that if it keeps coming from the external, then it gets like a life on its own, this desire to fit in and to become like everybody else. And then the result is that you end up completely losing who you are for the sake of being like your friends, your family, your community, your work environment, your colleagues. So you lose the things that make you special just because you feel like you need to fit in. The more you understand that this external validation will never give you the same amount of satisfaction as listening to your inner self, once you try this and once you listen to your inner self and see the satisfaction that it's giving you, the feeling that, oh my god, this is it, this is what I want, this is feels right, once you get that dopamine hit from following your inner flow and your personality, and you start differentiating yourself and you don't care anymore about that, you get back this realization that getting the external validation and fitting in will never satisfy me as much as being myself. And that's how we end up having personalities around us that we're so drawn towards, because they are so themselves, they're so magnetic, and we're so drawn to them, to their energy, because they are so they're so fully charged by their self. They get validated from their self, so they have their own ecosystem of validation. And we look up to these people and we say, wow, I wish I was special like them. But we don't realize that we are special like them, and we were always special like them, but we hid ourselves, we concealed ourselves for the sake of fitting in. And then we reach the point where we see that fitting in doesn't feel good anymore, doesn't satisfy us anymore, and we wish to stand out, we wish to be different, we wish to be special. And that's when we realize we were special all along, and we see other people that are following their inner voice, they're following their inner compass, they get validated from their own selves, and we wish to be like them. But this is exactly what I'm here to tell you, that you are special like them, and you have the ability to stand out, but you have to firstly face your fear of being seen, your fear of being different, your fear of standing out, the fear of facing people of telling you, well, why are you doing this? Why are you taking this route that doesn't make sense? And you have to be okay without having a reason to justify what you're doing. You have to be okay with trusting your inner guidance and inner self that is telling you to take this unconventional path that doesn't make sense and you don't know where it's leading you. I'm gonna leave this here. I really hope this video served as your reminder that you are not average, and you were never meant to be. You were never brought to this earth to be average. You were brought by the desire of God to be different, to stand out, to give your own specific special gifts to the world. And when you shrink yourself and you make yourself average, this is a selfish path. When you are seeking to be average and fit in, that is the selfish path, not the path where you choose to listen to your inner guidance. A lot of people think that, oh, this person just listening to themselves, how selfish they are. I'm just working for the community, I'm sacrificing myself for the common good. But you don't understand that by becoming average, denying your gifts, denying the purpose of why God brought you here, that is selfish, because it is done for your ego. It is done out of your ego's need to be fitting in and to not stand out, because it's coming from fear, the fear of being seen. It's this paradox that you think that by listening to your inner guidance and yourself, you are selfish, but it's the complete opposite, because the result of listening to your inner guidance has a domino effect of influencing other people around you to see that this is what is right to do, because this is how you honor God's plan for you and God's gifts for you. So I hope this served as your reminder that you're not average and you are special, and this is your sign to embrace it and to understand that the people around you that you're drawn towards, you feel magnetized towards, that they are special. They are not the superheroes, the special ones, lucky ones. You are feeling drawn towards them and towards those qualities because your inner self is telling you, I desire to be like that. And this is your sign to listen to that inner voice. You're gonna face resistance from your ego self, from your fears, from your limiting beliefs that are going to tell you that, like, listening to this voice is so scary. But the more you listen to it, the more you build the confidence and trust in that inner voice, because you see that, oh, I've listened to my inner voice before. I did follow that instead of the logic, instead of my ego, and it led me down to a path where everything got even better than I ever expected. So you build up this trust and faith with yourself and your inner voice, so that you're slowly able to make and face the bigger choices and make the bigger decisions. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.